Hi, welcome. In this video, we're going to go over program 4. So the first thing I want to go over is the program 4 algorithm. The program 4 algorithm is just the logical order of the steps of the program. So you need to understand what's going on with program 4 to write the algorithm. The algorithm does not include any C language elements like printf or functions or anything. It's just the logical order in which things happen. So Program 4 is going to be a food purchasing app. So a good way to understand first what an algorithm is I wrote an example of an algorithm for your program 3. So this is what an algorithm would look like for program 3. Start the program, greet the user, ask for a character, get a character, etc. So take a look at this. If I were to have asked you to write the algorithm for program 3, it would be very similar to this. You can write your algorithm, should be numerical, because when we start to change flow and we start to have loops, then you're going to need to go back to different numbers. So you can use this as a guide. You'll notice here there's nothing in here like printf or scanf or functions or anything. And now here is the sample output for program 4. So program 4 is a food purchasing app. So you could write the algorithm by looking at the output. Number 1, greet the user. Or number 2, number 1, start the program. Anyway, then greet the user. Display the balance. Show the user the food options. Get the food option selection. Repeat back to the user the option they selected. That's optional. All right, then set the price for the food selection. Then find out how many they want for their order. So in this case, for this assignment, the user can only, at this point for program 4, you can only order 1 item, and then the program's going to end. We're going to add more features for program 5, but right now you just can pick 1 item, and you need to have 7 options. Your food can be any options that you want. You don't have to use mine, but you can use mine if you want, but you can change the food options. All right, then how many do they want? Then they set the, okay, so then you have to get the total price after you find out they only have $20. Then this is where you're going to have to continue. So again, if your algorithm isn't 100% perfect, it's only worth 4 points, but this is the part where you think about what are you going to do if you don't have enough money. So if you don't have enough money, you're going to tell them you don't have enough money. You're going to ask them to add money. Then you're going to go back and check. If you don't have enough money, you're going to have to ask them to add money again, and you're going to have to continue to do that until you have enough money. So this is going to be a loop here. But in the code part, I'm going to help you with the loop. All right, so then in the end, you eventually they will have enough money. As soon as they do have enough money, then you tell them to, you're going to subtract the from the balance, tell them to enjoy their purchase, tell them how much is left, and say goodbye and have a great day. So that's program 4. That's the algorithm portion. So you need to do the algorithm portion first. So once you do the algorithm portion, you submit it here. It's worth only 4 points. It doesn't take very long to do that. And I recommend doing it as a PDF because that way it renders nicely in Canvas. So you can use anything PDF to make it a PDF. Okay, so this is your algorithm, and it's just an understanding of the inputs, the outputs, and the sequence of instructions for this program. Then once you complete your algorithm, then you're going to start doing your code. So I've already given you here the instructions for the assignment. I've also given you a template to help you get started, and I've also done step-by-step instructions. All right, so let's take a look at the assignment. All right, so for this assignment, you're going to implement, that means write the code for a food purchasing app, you're going to start with a balance of $20. So everyone will start with $20. So you can come up with your own options and your own prices, but keep in mind that you're starting with a balance of $20. So you pick whatever food you want, and then you're going to welcome the user, explain everything, display the balance, display the menu options. Then you're going to have to set the price. Then you're going to have to get the quantity, just like looking at the sample output will help you to understand that. So this I need to fix, I need to fix this. So this is incomplete. All right, so you're going to get the food options, and then the user can only purchase one option, one item, and they can get as many, quantity. They select it by the item number. They can get as much quantity as they want of that item, and then after they complete that item, they will, the user will enter money until they have enough to cover the purchase. Just look at the sample output. I have to fix this. So, but by looking at the sample output, you can see, I think it's also on here, right? So here, if they don't have enough money, if they do have enough money, then they're just going to make the purchase. And if they do not have enough money, you're going to have them continue to put enough money until they do make the purchase. So this is only going to do one transaction. It only has one loop, and that one loop happens to be in the portion where you, just on the money part. Okay, so I will fix this document after this video. I'm not going to stop recording to fix this document, but all right. You are going to use the following functions. Please keep the functions and do not modify the functions. You will have a greeting function. That's where you will greet the user. Then you have a display food item selections. This one is going to be the one that's going to display the number 1, number 2, the items and their prices. It's going to declare, ask, and get an integer from the user, and then return that integer. Then you're going to take that integer that was returned from the user in this function and pass it to the set price function. So the set price function is going to make its own copy of that number, and then it's going to use conditions to go through. You can use if, else, or switch to go through and set the price, and then it's going to return the price. Then you're going to pass that price to the add quantity to order function. This function is going to ask the user how many they want of that item and the price. It's going to display the price and ask how many they want of that item, and then you're going to find out, calculate the total, and then return the total. Then you have the checkout function. The checkout function is going to take the balance, that's the money, and again, these are all passed by value, passed by copy. They're going to make their own copies of these. So you're going to pass the balance, which is going to be $20, because we're not going to implement more than one purchase. So it's always going to be $20, but we're going to get used to it because in future assignment, we are going to continue to make purchases or add more features. And then the total price, which was calculated in this function. And then you're going to use these two helper functions. The first helper function is check for enough money. So this function is going to take the balance and the total and see if it's enough, and it will return a 1 if it is enough, and it will return a 0 if it's not enough. So it's an integer return. And this function is going to be the reload function. So it's going to take the balance that the user has, tell the balance to the user, ask how much they want to add. You can assume that they will add a reasonable amount and add that amount and then return the new balance back, which will then have to be checked again to see if it's enough. So you're going to just have to keep checking to see if it's enough until eventually it is enough, and then you will make the purchase, subtract the total from the balance, and return the new balance. So that's an overview of how these functions are going to work. And I went ahead and also made for you guys here step-by-step instructions, which we're going to follow in a minute. I'm not going to do everything for you, but I am going to start looking at these step-by-step instructions, and I'm going to follow them to help you to get started to implement this program. I also gave you a template code, so you just can copy this template code here. I've already created my project, put it into your project, and if you build it, it should compile. And it has some warnings. So it has warnings that some functions must return a value. So for example, if you go down here to this function, display food selections, this function has an integer return type. So it's warning you that this function, because it's an integer function, it must return a value. Right now you can leave that, but I'm going to give you some tips. You just want to make sure that it compiles and it prints "have a nice day" or "have a great day," because that's all that is in the main function right now, is the message "have a great day." But I've given you comments here and tips here. So in the next video, we're going to get started implementing. So I'm going to stop this video and I'm going to start a new video, video number 2, where we're going to start doing the code.